Hi everyone. First question is there stuff that you want to see me do that I'm not doing? Leave a comment. And the second thing is that I'm going to try and explain certain things about the instrument and maybe try to share a little bit of the knowledge that I have with you. So I thought I would start really simple tonight. And I would talk about what I keep in my Sitar grab bag here of stuff. So you probably see when I shoot my video and I'm sitting on the floor, I have a bag of things next to me that I always have on hand. The first main one, which I don't keep in the bag, is just my phone. I always have my phone because I use that for my tabla and metronome and so forth. So inside the bag. Well, I always have the remote to the camera here so I can stop and start recording. And then I always have strings. That's always the second big thing I keep. Sitar strings are they're not something you can find at the at the regular guitar center. So I would recommend always have an extra set on hand so that you can, if you break a string, you're not out of luck. So number 2. I have this little, I guess, jade jar here. And inside here, this is where I have a little piece of, a little cotton ball, and that has oil on it. And I use that to oil my finger when I'm playing. For a long time, I just had like stuff in a little Tupperware, and I hated that. I wanted something that felt fancy. So this was sort of that. That was the idea with this. So, and see, it's just a little cotton swab in there. I hope it's focused. And that has oil. In terms of oil that I would recommend using, some people really like mustard oil. Some people like coconut oil. I find olive oil is a little sticky. And I also found that I was in a pinch once and I used some toasted sesame oil, and that was like really slippery. So this right now is a mix of coconut and I think some sesame oil. So, okay. Then I keep this little brush thing in there. And this little fuzzy brush is so that I can sort of just dust off the sitar underneath some of the strings. Try to keep it clean. I keep a little mini Gorilla Pod tripod in there. This is for my phone. I use this when let's say if I travel home and I want to shoot a video, but also just sometimes when I want to shoot a video just for reference for myself, just to hear, or plus it's really great. My son loves to play with it. Next, I keep a piece of chalk in a little baggie here, and this is Sidewalk Chalk. And if you have a sitar and your tuning pegs, sorry, I'm opening the bag, that's probably loud. If your tuning pegs are slipping, a little just Sidewalk Chalk, just white, don't get a color or something, on your tuning pegs will really help to keep your pegs from slipping, but also make them really nice and smooth and turnable. Someone once said that you should always, told me at least, that if you get Sidewalk Chalk versus like school board, blackboard chalk, because Sidewalk Chalk doesn't have wax in it, whereas the chalk for like a school blackboard has wax in it to keep it from squeaking. Anyways, this is like costs nothing and it's really handy. I just actually re-chalked a couple of my pegs. I have this little moleskin notebook in there. I used to have a larger notebook, and this is where I write down I like this because it's easy to take to my lesson or just keep in my bag. I had one that was bigger before, and that was difficult because it didn't fit in the bag, so I had to carry the bag plus a larger notepad. I write down all my tons in here. I give all my tons names so I don't forget them. And so then when I practice, sometimes I just look down the sheet and okay, did I play this one? Okay, next one, next one, next one, next one. Just to make sure I don't forget something. I keep a little piece of paper towel. This is sort of to either clean off the strings, to get the oil off the strings, or just to get a little extra oil off my fingers. And, and this is actually related back to the sitar strings at the beginning. I carry and this is, let's see here, I carry a pair of wire clippers and a pair of needle nose pliers. Ow, ow. And those are tools you'll need. So if you buy strings for sitars, it's usually just a big long coil, or sometimes it's a big long coil, and you'll need to tie the loop for the end of the string yourself. Maybe that's a video I should do. Teach you how to tie a loop for a sitar string. I gotta remember that. Do you want to see that? Let me know. Let me know. And so you tie this loop, and it's really good to have needle nose pliers to do that. Otherwise, you'll go insane. And then I just have some pens and highlighters for my notepad. And then there's like little bits of, tape in here or something from when I tape my fingers. And then another thing I keep in here is, this is sort of the weirdest one of all. Whoa. This looks like a funny donut, but it's actually a 1 pound weight. Oh, there's a hole in it. Oh no. So it's slightly less than a 1 pound weight. Little beads are falling out of it. And there was a period where I was trying to build up strength in my arm. And so this is to be you wear, it's a wrist weight. So I would play and wear this. And this was helping me to build up speed because, you take it off and it was like, whoa, now you can really move fast. I don't really do that very often. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But I got that idea from watching an interview with Dweezil Zappa, who was talking about how to build up finger speed. And he was talking about wearing a Band-Aid around a rubber band around his fingers, sort of like this, I guess, and playing guitar or just doing these different exercises just to build up sort of finger strength. And I thought, well, I'll try wearing a weight on my wrist. I don't know. Like I said, I did it for a while, but anyways, that's everything that I keep in here. This is really handy too. I used to have this stuff just sort of like a loose, and that was not a good idea because it was always like, oh, I need a pen, and you have to find a pen. Of course, it's the one that doesn't have any ink, or this thing was in a different cupboard, and I always have to dig it out, and I couldn't find like where I'd put my oil and stuff. So I keep that all in here, just a small little zip pouch, and that is it for this video. Please let me know what else you'd like to see. Maybe teach you how to tie a string. And I'm going to do a video about tuning because someone asked about that. So that is probably something I will shoot very soon. Maybe I'll even do that tonight. All right. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm also now on Patreon. And that has been something that I just started a little while ago. Or I know I mentioned it in a few other videos. And thank you to everyone who's already gone over and become a patron. You're amazing. That's been so great. Every little bit of support helps. So if you want to feel like you want to help support me make these videos, help me continue with this journey, please feel free to also visit me there. Thank you so much. Have a great day. All right. Bye.